welcome to the Record Online Q&A session for the student body president candidates. I'm Jeffrey. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
I'm Maggie, Ottenbreit.
I'm Kalaydjian.
So, what made you guys run for president?
I think that ever since I came to Hotchkiss, I've been interested in running for student body president, and I also was on class council prep year, so I've always been kind of involved with the student body, just student government in general. So even my prep year when they're having student government elections for all school presidents, that was one thing that I always wanted to do. So I think it's just been kind of something I wanted to do for so long.
We've both held major leadership positions in the past few years, and we believe that we could really make a difference. And we met together during the upper mid review, working on the hot sauce video, and we just kind of clicked, and we're hoping to get things done here.
Luke, you're new this year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I said that. So, so people don't really know much about what you did before you came to Hotchkiss, and you mentioned that you had a lot of leadership roles in the previous years. Would you mind elaborate on that?
Sure. I was at a smaller private boys' school in Montreal. We had about 600 students from grades kindergarten to 11.
Mm-hmm.
So it was much smaller than Hotchkiss here. But either way, we still had very strong spirit, and we organized activities that went for the entire school at times. And my brother actually, I would say that he even changed my life, because he convinced me to run for this thing called House Head in grade 10. House Heads, we had houses that are kind of like Gryffindor and Hufflepuff and Harry Potter, kind of like our Olympian and Pythian thing that's going on here. And I was elected as House Head that year. And then I started organizing activities, and I started to realize that this was something that I actually really enjoyed doing, and I found a passion for it. And then the following year, I applied to be on a prefect, which is essentially the class council board, and then I was later applied to be the head boy of my school, which is essentially the president of it all.
That's awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, there are a lot of pairs that are running. I think there are 6 in total. What makes you guys think that you guys are better than the other pair? What makes you guys stand out? What makes you guys set apart? What makes you guys set apart from the other candidates?
Well, I think that we both absolutely love Hotchkiss, and we want to make it a better place. We want to have a big impact on the school, and I think that even though Luke is new, he has past experience with leadership, and we both know the time commitment that it takes, and he has an older brother here who's been here for years. So I think that we really know the school well, and I think that working together, because we're both very outgoing people, we're good at communicating with faculty, I think that will really give us a leg up.
This is something that if we got, we would put our heart and soul into it, and we would do basically anything to make this school better.
So this year, our presidents are Dan and Kate. What do you guys think that you guys can do better than them? What do you think they didn't do so well this year?
I think that Dan and Caitlin did do a lot this year. They were great presidents. They're both amazing people, and I think that there was a lot going on behind the scenes with them this year, especially with interdorming at the beginning of the year. That was a really big topic of discussion. So I think that we want to do more, maybe next year, for like the whole school, just more publicity, I guess you could say, is like more spirit, more blue mobs, more everything.
I think that Dan and Caitlin, not to put words into their mouths, but I think that they might be a little disappointed because they might have had a lot more personal projects that they wanted to complete, but then they might have not had the chance to complete just because there were so many other things going on, like the interdorming very early on in the year. That might have taken up a lot of their time. They're currently rewriting the STUFAC agreement as well.
Yeah.
They were very busy with things that they were not prepared to do, so they might have had less time in their actual personal challenges. So hopefully we will be able to find a balance in doing things that we need to do to satisfy both the students and the faculty, as well as continue on projects that we hope can be traditions for many years to come.
How do you think of their response, Dan?
All right, yeah. Thanks
Hi,
for-
Dan.
No, I think the response is really generous. But do you think there's anything that you could do next year that gives people who vote for you kind of hope for like a better future for them?
Hope for a better future.
Yeah, like kind of like different from what me and Caitlin did. Like, do you think that there's any improvements you can make?
I think that we just want to continue what you guys have started, and I think that because we're kind of set back at the beginning of the year with interdorming, I think that we can really like push that policy and hopefully gain the faculty and the students' trust together, so we can further work on that situation, and also in general, just I'm not sure. I mean, Dan and Caitlin did a great job. I don't want to bash anything, but
I mean, there's a lot of things that Dan has really only just started, like the sleepover policy, things like that. We want to continue the work that Dan and Caitlin started, as well as start our own initiatives that will hopefully become traditions.
Of course. So you mentioned the inter-domain policy, and this fall actually was a really rocky period of time for the entire community because of it, first of all the policy, and then the Spirit Week fiasco, and then a lot of people were like really like not happy about it. So a lot of people were wondering, do you guys think there will be a way or anything you guys can do to avoid something like this to happen ever again in the future?
I think communicating with faculty and the administration is obviously a big thing that we want to start over the summer, and we do have new initiatives and also like propositions that we want to show to administration and the faculty. So I think just talking to them first. I also think that since Dan and Caitlin were working on the StuFac Constitution this year, I think there is a much closer relationship with students and the faculty. So I think if we continue to work on that.
It's going to involve a lot of building trust and connecting the bridges in between students and faculty, notably the administration, enable for us to be able to implement these policies or even just make the students get what they really want. But that might take a lot of time, and we're willing to really try to bridge that gap between student and administration.
Yeah. What do you guys think are some of the most important values as being an all-school president?
I think one is being outgoing. I think that that's the biggest thing, getting to know as many people as you can. And I know that while I was not growing up, but I went through the years at Hotchkiss, I think that like I've always wanted to get to know the all-school presidents, and I think this year I definitely have with Dan and Caitlin, but in the past I haven't really known them, so I definitely want to branch out and get to know more people. So I think that being outgoing is a big quality to have, and just being a role model for younger students.
I think that being passionate is also very important. Being passionate about not just Hotchkiss itself, but also what we're doing, the courses that we're taking, what we want to change and implement here. Just loving this place and putting our heart and soul into this place is very important.
Yeah. What are some of the biggest goals for next year if you guys ever become president? Would you mind sharing a little bit of that before your big speech?
Sure. Do we want to?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the major things that we would love to see and hopefully establish as a tradition is working with the Terry Fox Foundation to create an annual event called the Terry Fox Run. Terry Fox was a Canadian icon, and the foundation is for cancer research. And the day essentially involves a lot of activities. We're going to be burning a lot, similar to the crop walk, in the goal of raising money and be a lot of activities and fun.
Yeah, and I think that's something else we want to do. We really want to work with administration to gain more trust between the students, because I think there has been a bit of a break of that trust in the beginning of the year, especially.
Absolutely.
So I think that next year, I think the biggest thing is gaining trust, like I said, and hopefully maybe getting later check-in on Friday nights when we have no Saturday classes, continuing the work on sleepovers, and hopefully getting them on Friday nights with no Saturday classes, and even Saturday nights. And I just think trusting the students, giving lower mids maybe less study halls to ease the transition, because I know it is a hard transition.
Yeah.
So I think just gaining trust of the faculty.
We also have plenty of smaller ideas that may not seem like a big deal, but we want to just make everyday life easier for everyone at Hotchkiss and hopefully put a smile on everyone's face.
That's awesome. So Luke, you were speaking about activities a little earlier, but a lot of students have mentioned and they have complained about the lack of activities going on this year. You know, you should know there's before there was a lot of buses to Great Barrington, where there's a lot of things going on in the MAC on Saturday night. I mean, there were a few this year, but not as many as before. And what have you planned on improving that part of the situation?
At my previous school, what we tried to do is we tried to have at least one major event every few weeks. That being said, these could be major events that can take the entire day, such as our Terry Fox Run, which we've been doing for the past 40, 50 years or so.
Oh, wow.
But then they can also be just smaller things, like we can have something like a big Kahoo or like a bingo or something going on in the student center here, for instance. So we're hoping to basically up everything here, increase the spirit, increase the fun, increase just everything all around.
I think it would also be nice typically when we come back from breaks, or like the first weekend back, is when we have a lot of those big activities. So I think also spacing them out, so it feels like there is always like a big fun activity almost like every weekend's. Like one of my favorite events is segways in the
Oh,
MAC,
yeah.
so maybe bringing that back a bit more, having more open swim or black leg mini golf,
Yeah.
and just kind of spreading it out.
Those are my favorite activities. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
There you go.
So I'm gonna shift the gear a little bit. Some people, recently we had the Asian American Futsal Conference. I think last Sunday, right?
Yes.
And so diversity really plays a big role at Hotchkiss, considering there are people from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that we have as many conversations about diversity as we should, or do you think there should be a lot more than what we have right now to raise awareness about that?
I think that okay. I think that we can always have more, and I think that we should as well. Recently when we had the speaker come, I thought that was when she talked about microaggressions. That's something that we've never really had at Hotchkiss before, and it was very informative. I think that she had a lot of great ideas about how to address it here. So I think if we had more of those talks instead of maybe just discussions with advisors, because sometimes when you're close with your advisor, you don't exactly follow the prompt. So I think if we could have more speakers come in and kind of address situations. So I definitely don't think that the school has done a bad job, but I think that there's a lot that they could do.
There's also a lot of affiliations and clubs such as like El Club, and we essentially want to, we can work with those groups and hopefully create more of an atmosphere where people can find the place where they can feel even more comfortable, and then we can hopefully combine things and make activities together.
So at the end of our prep year, our dress code was changed drastically, and even till this day, this is a really big topic that goes around on campus, because some people think that dressing up makes our entire community look better when they're visitors, but some people think it's more comfortable wearing sweatshirts or t-shirt to because it's a lot easier, right? What is your take on that? Do you think we should have a stricter dress code, or do you think this is right now is fine?
So I think it's kind of like a funny situation. I remember prep year, so many people were campaigning for having a less strict dress code. People wanted to wear jeans, and then I remember lower mid-year after they did change it, a bunch of boys, there's a group I think in Koi that all wore +1 almost every day because they wanted that stricter dress code.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that I can speak on behalf of everyone, but I think that we should send out a survey or something and see, because personally I like being able to look put together, and I don't think that jeans are necessarily the issues. Maybe hoodies and sweatshirts are, but I think that I would want to see what other people think, because me wanting to dress up most days isn't exactly what the rest of the people want.
I think what's important is that we as a community should look presentable to anyone who may be visiting. That being said, we don't have to wear blazers or ties or whatever it is every single day, but as long as we look decently put together and prepared to receive someone from outside of our community, I think that we would be all right with that.
So we have StuVax every Monday, where sometimes the time change, but it's weekly. And will you guys be planning on doing other things so you guys will be more approachable to students, and students will be more comfortable sharing ideas with you guys?
I think that one thing that I really want to start in is, I believe it was David and Sailor that had, maybe it was Monday nights before StuFac, they had like open office hours in the dining hall. So the two of them would just sit in the dining hall and they say, if you have any ideas, come up to us. And it was a really approachable situation. I think I even went up with a couple of my friends once, and I think that that's something that we would like to start again. And I think it would be great to do it before StuFac, so that we could bring up some of those ideas at StuFac and really talk.
We also want to be very approachable in general. So even if we're not in the open office hours, if someone approaches us and says, oh wait, I have this good idea that I want to get started here, or what do you think about this thing that's going on, I'd very happily be open to just speaking with them right in the hallway if I have time.
That's great. And last year we had this whole controversy and a huge debate over seniority at the beginning of last year, and it was everywhere on the record. People were writing articles about it. What is your view on the role of seniority at Hotchkiss? Do you think it's becoming toxic, or do you think it's a tradition that we should keep?
Maybe I'm speaking because I'm an upper mid but I am personally a fan of keeping traditions, not necessarily seniority. I just think that as you get older, you should have more responsibilities at the school, but also in the dining hall with seating. I know that some students don't like it as well, but I remember when I was a prep, I was almost intimidated to go into the dining hall, and I was happy that there was like that one place where you could sit. But I think it's different for some people, but I also think that the ones who don't necessarily like it will branch out and get to know more upper class friends. But I do think that we should definitely keep some of our traditions, because these traditions, senior tables, have been going on for I don't know how many years, but I think that we should stick true to those values.
I agree with that. Like senior grasses,
Mm-hmm.
that's not something that really affects lower classmen or upper mids. That it's not going to cause a hazard or harm them in any way. It's just a tradition that
Yeah.
seniors can enjoy.
So I have one last question here, and it's specifically for you guys. Actually, to you, Luke.
No pressure.
So
or anything,
you
but-
know you're new here, right? And
Yes.
you know, as you know, even though you mentioned that you had a lot of leadership roles before you came to Hotchkiss, many people might now still be very convinced because you know you haven't been here for a long time. You probably
Right.
don't know the school too much
I
as you know
understand that.
people that came here since prep year. What do you want? What do you want to say to them, the people that doubt you?
People that doubt me.
Yeah.
That's a strong word. Well, all I gotta say is I love Hotchkiss. My old school was fantastic, don't get me wrong. It was very special for me. But Hotchkiss is just the whole other level. This place is, like, it astonishes me every single day. The opportunities that this place opens for me. The people here, everything here is just absolutely amazing to me. And I want to make a difference here. I want to change something. I want to put me into this community. I want to be able to help this place. And I would do anything for this place. So
That's awesome.
really it.
Yeah.
Like I love it. I love Hotchkiss.
Great. That's all I have for today. Good luck to you guys, and thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.